Welcome to another quick review from Ultimate DIY. Today we're going to look at the Kingsom K-S8 Soldering Pin. Okay guys, so the very first thing I'm going to tell you is there's a difference in a soldering pin and a soldering iron. Soldering irons are generally a little larger, they put out a little bit more heat, and they usually have a cord going to them. You can get those cordless as well, but it's just a bigger unit. Soldering pins are made to be able to get into smaller, tighter areas. They're very just compact, easy to move and carry around. So the very first thing I'm going to say though about this unit before we even open it is the box that it comes in, or the case, carrying case, is extremely nice. It's rubberized, it has a lot of flex. It has a very good double zipper system that moves very well. It should make this last much longer, where if you're going to throw it in your vehicle, if you're going to throw it in a toolbox, it's going to protect the unit and keep all the parts together. So let's go ahead and open up the actual case and let's see what you get inside. So when you first open it, I've got pieces trying to fall out. You have a little pouch area here that's supposed to hold everything. The first thing I'm going to point out is the manual. Now, I will tell you the manual is a little bit lacking, hard to read. You're going to have to probably use magnifiers to try to read it. And it really doesn't give you exact detail of how the unit works. It gives you some of the basics. So we're going to try to fix that today. You've got a charging cord because this is a Type C rechargeable system. You get that. And also, here are your tips. You have the little slicer type tip and the point tip, and these are interchangeable, and they just screw onto the top of the unit. This is the actual heart of the whole system, and it basically has just one button, and that's really the nice thing about this system is it's very simplistic and very easy to operate. So we're going to set that aside here for a second. By the way, when you get it, be sure you go ahead and charge it for a while before you even attempt to try to use it. You also are going to get a little stand right here. Let me hold it up because it has a sponge in there. You get a little sponge which you can wipe off the tip onto that little sponge. So don't throw that away. It'll come in its own little plastic bag, and you do need to keep that. And then this has a standoff. So what this does is this actually holds your iron, and it stands it off the plastic, and you can set it down on a table while you're working. You're also going to get a cover tip so that when you take this thing apart, you can cover it and protect the unit. They even give you some solder and some flux. So you'll have the solder here and you will have some flux. And that's pretty much it in the unit. It is a plastic sleeve, protects everything fairly well, but you can keep everything in this and keep it together for a long time. We're going to set this aside for a minute. We're going to go ahead and try to figure out how this unit is working. Now, I do have a little block here with some wire, and we're going to try to solder the wire together and see just how well it works. And I do have a heat gun as well, which we are going to try to check our temperatures and see what they actually are. So the very first thing you're going to want to do, though, is charge the unit, make sure it's fully charged. Then we're going to take the actual heart of the unit out, and we are going to pick the tip that we want. We will go ahead and just do the pointed tip, and it should just screw right in. There we go. And it is tooled to where if you need to, you can use a little tool to tighten it, but I wouldn't recommend that. I don't think you're going to need to do that. So you have one little indicator light on this unit. Now, when you have it plugged in charging, it is going to be red. If it starts flashing red when you actually are using the unit, it means it's about to run out of power. If it goes all red, you're on the high temperature. That high temperature, by the way, is supposed to be around 800 to 850. If the light is blue, that is going to be your medium temperature, and that's going to be around 7 to 750-ish. And then the green, which is our low temperature, is going to be about 630 to 650. So we're going to actually see if we can get a heat gun on the tip of that. Hopefully I can. And we'll see if that temperature is close to what they're saying that it's supposed to be. All right, so when you go to turn it on though, all you're going to do is hold the little button down for 5 seconds and the little white light starts flashing. Now it goes off when you let go. If I hit it again, it's going to go green, and it's supposed to take around 8 seconds or so to get this thing warmed up. There we go. We are at 739 degrees. Let's see, if I hold it again, we should be able to go to blue. There's our blue. And let's see if it changes. Yeah, it's actually going up. 765. Try further up here, 718. 800. Shake it this way so you can kind of see. Depends on which part I'm actually putting that on. It's around 800. All right, let's try one more time. Now we are solid red. Solid red is supposed to be our high. And it is definitely went up. We are about 850, kind of around that range. It's running. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. So it's definitely changing. It's a little all over the place with the heat gun. Part of that is going to be when you put a heat gun on this, trying to get the very tip, which is where the heat is really concentrated. And you get further down in here, it's still hot, but not quite as hot. All right, guys, so we are going to try the flux. You can see how it's getting a little flux on the tip. All right, guys, so we're going to try that. Now, this is the wire they have, which is a little thinner wire. We're going to try a little thicker wire and see if this actually will work to actually get these put together. So I hold it over there, the little flux. It tends to get the flux on the wire. And let's see. There we go. There we go. Looks good. Now I should hold it down for about 5 seconds and it should go off. There we go. And we're going to set it over here to cool. Now let's take a look and see. Make sure that's dried enough. And yes, it did make a good connection. I can pull pretty hard. It's not coming apart. Now, that's not the prettiest solder, guys, but it's really just to kind of test and see how the unit works. Okay, so there you go, guys. It's really nice. I actually like the way this thing feels, by the way, too. It's not bulky, but it has a nice feel to it. The material that they made it out of is very smooth, so it makes it really easy to grip and move around. So make sure that you let it cool off real good before you touch that tip and disassemble it and get it back in the storage case for later. So there you go, guys. I think overall, awesome little unit, something that would be great to add to your toolbox. Do yourself a favor, pick yourself up one today, and we'll see you guys on the next review.